Imagine having a nice day on YouTube, scrolling for fun videos, and then, out of nowhere, comes some disrespectful, brain-dead video claiming that Dominic Toretto, the head of the who loves family, murdered members of his own family. You say, oh hells to the no, good sir. I know that crime lord Reyes and his men killed Vince. I know that Giselle died saving Han's life. I know Han died being hunted by DK and getting T-boned by Deckard Shaw. Until the retcon, that is. The glorious retcon. I'm here to tell you that none of that is the truth. Not the full truth, because it was, in fact, Dominic Gloria Toretto who's to blame for the deaths of Vince, of Giselle, of Han, and of one more family member who I'll tell you about later.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to...
This isn't film theory, but I'm a huge fan.
Huge fan. Oh, thanks. Huge fan. Thank you.
To explain this not a film theory, we have to quickly look at Fast and Furious, the fourth installment of the Fast saga. In that movie, Brian and Dom are hired to smuggle heroin across the border. They have ulterior motives from the beginning, but that's the detail relevant to this video. They are hired to smuggle heroin across the border between the US and Mexico. Letty was hired to do the same thing earlier. Good, honest gig economy work. Except in this scenario, the independent contractors don't get a 1099 form to put on their taxes. They get murdered. Okay, that was necessary setup for this, and it'll make sense in a second. In Fast 5, yep, we're moving through this fast and furious. I couldn't resist the pun. In Fast 5, we start with a similar situation. Brian and Dom, along with Brian and Dom, along with Mia and Vince, are hired on a job to move just cars. Last time it was cars with heroin and murder at the end, and this time the employers don't plan to kill them at the end. Huzzah! At the scene of the crime, everyone is told to take a car and meet up at a pre-planned meetup point. There's one thing the supervisor on the job requires. He take a specific car. I'll play it for you with sound.
Sto levando GT40.
And look at that reaction from Dom again.
Excuse me?
Supervisor didn't whisper to his partner, be ready to kill them when we're done. He said, I'm taking the GT40, and why shouldn't he be able to decide which car he's driving? Everyone has a job to do, and he's the highest ranking employee there. But Dom doesn't want to? I mean, it's literally the first direction he was given, and it wasn't even a direct command. It was just a rule for all the independent contractors there. So, being the worst gig worker I've ever seen in movies, he immediately disobeys the requirements of the job and immediately gets 2 more independent contractors to go against job requirements. This being when he tells Mia to take the GT40. And even then, the supervisor plays it chill. He doesn't get mad that one of his gig workers disobeys his first instruction. He doesn't get mad that he's insubordinate. He says, it's okay, we're all going to the same place. We'll get the car there. Honestly, he's better than almost every boss I've ever had. And after that, Dom one-ups the insubordination. He literally tells Mia to steal the property they're being paid to transport. What the actual fuck? In the first few minutes on the job, Dom has disobeyed orders, conspired behind the supervisor's back, and stolen property. If this was at all legitimate, he'd be fired and arrested. The action happens. The supervisor only points his gun at Dom as a way to elicit a truthful response. It should be noted.
Where is he going? Where is he going?
And hilariously enough, at the end of it all, Dom blames Brian for it.
Shitty call, O'Connor. Shitty call.
Motherfucker! The call you're referring to is the fact that Brian and Mia took the job. They were malnourished, tired, and needed cash to keep going. You're the one who not only blew up the job, but also put their lives in danger for no apparent reason. That's not the end of it either. They immediately have a chance to give up the car to Reyes and go their separate ways. It's the smart call to not believe Reyes, but I think Reyes would have actually stuck to his word in that scenario. It's debatable, but worth mentioning. It's also worth hitting the like button. Okay, good. After that, Vince tries to get them out of trouble.
Please, Dom. Just let me have the chip. I can take this to them.
He'll give it to Reyes and set things right.
Again, trouble solely caused by Dom and no one else's fault. But who stops him? Dom again.
Get out.
What? Get out!
When they almost get killed and have a way out, yes, Mia says they're not splitting up the family, but there's no reason the family sticking together requires risking your lives and the lives of others to steal money from your former employer, who was only ever mad at you because you sabotaged his job and stole his property. Anyway, we fast forward, and thanks to the escalating dick wagging, Vince dies. Dom started all this trouble and had at least 2 easy chances to walk away, but never did. And for it, Vince died. That might have been an easy connection to make. So how exactly do Dom's poor gig economy work ethic lead to Giselle's death? What about Han's death? What about that secret 4th person's death? Well, if Dom didn't start making so much noise in Brazil, Hobbs never would have shown up. If Hobbs had never shown up, he never would have recruited the family in Furious 6. Fun fact, the studio forced the 6th movie to be publicly named Fast and Furious 6 for marketing purposes, but Justin Lin made sure that, according to the opening title, it is canonically called Furious 6. Fast 5, Furious 6. Which makes it really awkward that the studio didn't give a fuck about it when 7 happened. Anyway, the family never would have been recruited, and Giselle never would have been able to choose to sacrifice herself to save Han. Similarly, Han never would have moved to Tokyo alone.
It's just something I gotta do.
You know we got your back. Whenever you need us.
Never would have started playing gangster with DK. Never would have been hunted by DK, and because the events in Furious 6 never would have happened in this scenario, wouldn't have Deckard Shaw wanting revenge for his brother Owen Shaw's hospitalization. And now, the mysterious 4th family member Dom killed. I want to quickly say there's a huge silver lining to Dom killing his family members, as messed up as that may sound. And that silver lining is the like button. Boom! It may look blue, but it's lined with... I got it. That was the wrong time to mention. This is a heavy moment. All right. The real silver lining. If Dom hadn't sentenced these family members to a residence 6 feet under, Reyes would still be controlling Rio de Janeiro like a total dick. Owen Shaw would have completed his Nightshade device. Letty would still be lost. Ramsey would still be captured. Jakande might have God's Eye. Mr. Nobody would have lost to Cypher. And Jacob would have gotten that fucking I control the world device. So you can look at this as Dom's dumbass gig work ethic sentencing his family to death, or you can look at it as one moment of necessary dumbassery that unintentionally led to the saving of the world multiple times over. And now for the final family member, the person who we met in 5, who developed in 6, and who we were surprised and delighted to see more story in 7 and 8 before they made their exit and didn't return for 9. Yeah, that's right. The final member that Dom killed is Elena. Had he not stayed and played big dick wag with Reyes, he never would have met Elena. He wouldn't have run away with her in 6 to ultimately leave her in the end. He wouldn't have accidentally made a baby with her, making her a target for Cypher, and because he didn't play by the rules again, this time under duress and with people's lives explicitly on the line, he got his son's mother killed. He got Han killed. He got Giselle killed. And he got Vince, his most loyal OG friend, killed.
You gotta meet my son, Nico.
I will.
He's a good kid.
Son lost his mother. Boy lost his mentor. Man lost the love of his life.
Where's Giselle?
A woman lost the love of her life.
Nice.
Yeah.
And little Nico, he lost his dad because of the man he was named after.
You know, we named him after you. Dominic.
Billions of dollars is a lot. But it's just sometimes it's just not as good as having a good dad. I'm sorry, I was editing this. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I was crying putting this together, and how I said it the first time, it just wasn't enough. God. But that's just a theory. A film! Damn it! This isn't film theory! If you can believe it, I actually love this franchise. I do movie reviews. I'm launching a new Fast and Furious podcast called I'll Ride With You, O'Connor. Check it out in the link below and find out why it's called that. Hit that like button. Goodbye.
Wow.